Weigh therefore the Israelites' wickedness in the balance, and theirs also that dwell in the world, these heathens. It says, and so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. All right? Not the heathen. Only the Israelites have done a little something. But the heathen ain't done none of that. All right? See, but Esdras didn't understand at the time that, we had to go through all these, not only for our disobedience and not doing things perfectly, all right, but also for our experience, all right, to gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay? And so I wanted to hit that to show that, hey, these other nations, they are also wicked too. All right? Outside of the wicked nation of people, which is Esau, Edom. All right. Now, like I said, we have even Israel have disobeyed and fallen short of the glory of God and sinned and have done wickedly. But the elect of the nation of Israel are going to come out of that wickedness. All right. Their minds are going to be stirred by way of remembrance, by the word. All right. By the Holy Spirit being rested upon them. All right. Gifted to them by the Most High God. Okay. So, right. And so right now we have been punished. We've been going in and out of captivity. See, these other nations, that's why Esdras asked, he said, man, you allow them sinning and and they chilling. You ain't done nothing to them. But here it is, we your special chosen children, and we done a little something, right? And it don't have no reward. It says, Amos 3:1, hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which are brought from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore will I punish you for all your iniquities. All right, you Israelites, I'm only going to punish you, because when you punish, like a parent punish their child, they're not punishing the child because they hate their child. They're not punishing their child because they just trying to destroy and kill their child utterly. No, they punishing them for they can learn from their mistakes. All right, they're just like in this Second Maccabees chapter 6 that I always like to get. 2 Maccabees 6:12. It says, now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities. Don't be discouraged for all these things that we as so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have to go through and go through. Okay? Don't be discouraged. It says, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. And chasten means to punish for the sake of moral improvement. So the Lord is trying to morally improve us. Remember in that Amos, he said, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, all the nations of the earth. You Israelites, only have I known. Therefore, I'm going to punish you. All right. He haven't punished these other nations like he's punished us with these curses of Deuteronomy 28. OK, it says, that the judge these punishments not to be for your destruction, but for a chastening of our nation, for a moral improvement of our nation. It says, for it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time. So when we do wickedly, the Israelites, we're not allowed any long time, but we are forthwith punished. We are immediately punished so we can learn from that wickedness, we can learn from the mistakes. All right. He's not trying to morally improve these other nations. That's why he ain't punished them. They chilling, like we read in that second Esdras. All right. It says, verse 14, for not as with other nations, these heathens, whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish. The Lord patiently waiting to punish till they come to the fullness of their sins, to the fullness of their wickedness. OK. So that's what he's doing with us. He's punishing us now for we can learn. That's why that Romans 15:4, for all things that was written aforetime was written for our learning. All right. We don't possess an inheritance with this present evil world. It's for us to learn in this present evil world and go through all these things. All right. See, but these other nations got a punishment coming, which is that fire, that weeping and gnashing of teeth. And guess what? 2/3 of our own people that chose to be a part of this world, they gonna get caught up in that fire. They gonna get caught up in that punishment. Okay? If you don't want to separate yourself from this present evil world, if you don't want to go through the necessary afflictions and persecutions and keeping your flesh in subjection, all right, and not engulfing yourself in all the carnality and wickedness, all right. See, because 2/3 of our people, they doing whatever it is they flesh want to do, just like these heathens. See, but the elect of the nation of Israel, they keeping themselves in subjection and being in balance, or at least trying their best to, okay? And not just doing anything they flesh want to do and living their best life and YOLO and obeying their thirst and, you know, whatever it is they want to do it. They're having discipline now, even though they in the flesh, okay? Going to this second Esdras, I got a few more scriptures before I wrap it up. Second Esdras chapter 9, all right, verse 13. It says, "And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created." This letting you know right here that the righteous who were made to be the righteous were the Israelites. That's why in that second Esdras that I read in chapter 6, it says, "But we 6 and 58, but we thy people whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes," whose sakes was the world made for? The Israelites. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. It says, "Why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? If the world made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?" We don't possess an inheritance with this present evil world. But when the Lord come back, all right, and set up the kingdom of heaven right here on the earth, okay, that is our inheritance. That's when we are going to be in rulership and have our rest and be on top, ruling in righteousness. But we had to go through this present evil world and go through all the straits, the positions of difficulties, which I'm going to get that in a second. Okay? We had to go through that. See, but if you're not going through that because you living your best life and you got the inheritance of these other nations, then you're going to have to get the punishment of these other nations. Okay? So back in the second Esdras 9 and 13, it says, "Therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created." The world is created for the righteous nation of people, the Israelites. Okay? See, but 2/3 of our people are not so righteous right now. And they're counted as heathens. They're counted as Gentiles. They're counted as these other nations, and they're going to get the punishment of these other nations, which is that fire. All right? Verse 14, "Then answered I and said, I have said before and now do speak, and I will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved." There are many more. Not only because all the nations, these heathen nations, are going to be punished, all right, and not be saved, but out of 100% of Israelites, you have a 2/3, which is larger than 1/3. So more of our nation is going to be with this world and be punished with this world and not be saved from the pending judgment and destruction that the Lord is coming with right soon, our lifetime. Okay, I'm going to hit this Matthew. This is Matthew, 2 more scriptures and I'm out, Lord willing. Matthew 7:13. It says, enter ye in at the strait gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there be which go thereat. Remember, 2/3, for one, all the other nations, many. Now, when we talk about, and they're gonna be caught up in destruction, period. They're 100% of heathen nations, these other nations whose bloodline don't go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because they haven't been punished yet, and their punishment is coming when the Lord comes with that punishment, with that judgment. But 2/3 out of 100% of Israel, 2/3, all right, are gonna go into the broad, which leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go thereat. 2/3 is the many. 1/3 is the few. 1/3 of the nation of Israel who is slated to be saved. Lord willing, I'm a part of that number. Lord willing. I don't have a ticket yet. All right. But I have hope of getting one, because I'm doing what the Lord said do, and separating myself from this present evil world and doing these things and trying to find more things that I need to do. Okay. So it says, enter ye in at the strait gate. I'm going to get the definition of strait. This is the definition of strait. It says, often straits, a position of difficulty, distress, or need, ill and penniless. Strict as in requirements or principles. So we got to enter in at the strict gate, where it's required of us to follow the principles of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right. We have to enter in at the position of difficulty. We have to enter in at the gate of distress or need. And we're going to have all manner of ills and be penniless. All right. It says, enter ye in at the strait gate. All right. This is our portion to go through that. Matter of fact, the first definition of strait was a narrow passage of water connecting two large bodies of water, which reminded me of this scripture right here in 2nd Esdras chapter 7, verse 3. It says, and I said, speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place. All right. So the sea is set in a wide place. All right. Remember, it says a strait is a narrow passage of water connecting two large bodies of water. So we trying to get to the large body of water, which is the kingdom of heaven. That's what we're trying to get to. It says, speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, the sea, the large body of water, is set in a wide place, a large body of water, that it might be deep and great. It's going to be great once you get to this large body. But put the case, the entrance to get to this large body, the entrance to get to this sea, the entrance to get to this kingdom of heaven that's filled with all good things, is narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it if he went not through the narrow? How could he come to the broad? How could you come to this this broad, this sea, this life, unless you go through the narrow? All right. I'm gonna jump down to 7. It says, the entrance thereof is narrow and set in a dangerous place to fall, a position of difficulty. like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city, if this sea, this large body of water filled with all good things that you're going to rule, is given into a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? See, our inheritance is the eternal sea that we're going to rule. Of the wicked nations, all right, these heathen nations, their inheritance is this present evil world, which is the entrance for us to get to where we need to be. So if we trying to enjoy the entrance, if we trying to enjoy and live our best life in the place of in the straits, then you cannot get to the wide. You cannot get to the place that's filled with all good things. You can't get there. Okay? It says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, it is so, Lord. Then he said unto me, even so is Israel's portion. It's the Israelites' portion to go through this present evil world. That's why in that verse 6, that chapter 6, the above this chapter, that's why when he asks, I'm gonna read it again. It says, chapter 6, verse 58. It says, but we thy people, the Israelites, who thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. The hands of who? These heathen nations. Verse 59, if the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with this world? We don't possess an inheritance with this present evil world, all right? We don't possess an inheritance where we have to go through straits, a position of difficulty, and overcome them and learn. This is why we're here right now, not to live our best life. This is why we're here right now, not to enjoy the heathen's inheritance. No, it's for us to learn and to overcome so that when we are finally given our inheritance, we can rule it in righteousness. And we've been through all manner of things to judge righteously and to rule righteously and to choose righteousness. Okay? And not to choose wickedness in this present evil world. Okay? This is the heathen's portion, inheritance right now. You don't want none of this because it's temporal. It's all temporal. You want to enjoy and live your best life and be rich and temporary, or you want to live your best life and be rich and in righteousness for eternity, and don't have to look behind your back, don't have to worry about somebody robbing you, don't have to worry about somebody killing you, don't have to worry about, you catching some disease, or you getting hit and being in a coma, or you being a vegetable and can't enjoy all your rich. All this could happen here in this present evil world. You want to live your best life now in temporal, knowing that the Lord is coming to destroy this place because of all its wickedness? You want to be found unspotted from this world when the Lord come back. You want to be found separate from this world when the Lord come back. Okay? So going back to this Matthew 7:13, it says, enter ye in at the straight gate, the position of difficulty. All right? Accept your punishment. Accept us having to go through all these things. Accept it and have faith that the Lord said, I go to prepare a place for you. All right? Which is not only going to be the kingdom of heaven right here on this present, on this earth. All right? The kingdom of heaven is going to be on this earth, but we're going to inhabit all of existence. Okay? Because we're going to be in those extraterrestrial bodies as it is written. All right? Those new bodies that we're going to get. And that's what the point that the apostle was making in his video. We shall all be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. And we're not going to be in these carnal bodies no more. All right. We're going to be in extraterrestrial, because terrestrial means like the terrain, the land, the earth. We in earthly bodies right now. See, but we're going to be in extra earthly. We're going to, have powers, man. All right. It's a power to be able to follow the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. All right. Which is going to be written in our minds, in our hearts. Only the Israelites have that promise. Matter of fact, I said it. I got to read it. All right. Only the Israelites have this promise. Hebrews 8:10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days. So after these days that we're in right now, this position of difficulty that we're in right now. See, but when the Lord come back, then we're going to be changed. All right. It says, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be unto me a people. He's going to put the law, statutes, and commandments in our minds and our hearts, and we're going to be programmed to never sin again, to never transgress the laws of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Ever. We're never going to sin. These other nations don't have that promise. See, we're going to rule over them with the law, statutes, and commandments. We're going to teach them the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. And if they do right, then they're going to be cool. But they're going to be susceptible to sin because they're still going to be in flesh, just the regular flesh. All right. But that sin is not going to be prevalent as it is right now. OK. So once again, Matthew 7:13, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way which leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go thereat. But straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, which leadeth unto salvation, and few there be that find it. Few. All right. Out of 100% of the Israelites, you have 2/3, which is the many. You have 1/3, which is the few. The 1/3, once again, are the 144,000 prophets. All right. Which are all men. Then you're going to have those who's going to believe on Yahweh Shai through the words of the prophets. Those are going to be men, women, and children of the nation of Israel that's slated for salvation. All right. Those are the few that is going to come to life. Those are the few that's going to be saved from the judgment because they separated themselves from this present evil world. OK. And that's what it's all about. Those are the ones who had the understanding of this mystery. Only few is gonna find that. Only few. Think about it. Are there few Christians, modern day so-called Christians? All right. See, because when we read in the Bible, I think it's one or maybe twice that it says the actual word Christian. All right. The true Christians are us. You know what I'm saying? The true followers of the anointed, the true followers of Yahweh Shai, all right, is the 144 and the 1/3. All right, just for your understanding. But modern day Christians who call themselves Christians today, that believes in a false doctrine, that believes in a misinterpretation, all right, of the book, all right, that call themselves Christians today, it's many of them. Many. All right. When you think of all denominations, all right, and you think of all religions, it's many of them. Some in the billions. Like Christians and Muslims, it's billions of those. That's many. The 1/3, the 144 plus the rest of the 1/3 that's slated for salvation, that's a few. Only a few. All right. When you think of all these religions, many Muslims, it's billions of Muslims. That's many. That it says many there be which go thereat to destruction. You call yourself a Muslim, you go into destruction. You call yourself a modern day Christian, you going into destruction. You call yourself a Jehovah's Witness, you going into destruction. You call yourself a, whatever. If you ain't calling yourself in truth a Hebrew Israelite, and it ain't, just you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite. No, that you are a Hebrew Israelite. You recognize that you're a Hebrew Israelite. You receive that you're a Hebrew Israelite, and you apply all the things that one as a Hebrew Israelite should be applying. All right. And endure to the end with that application. Those are the ones that's going to be saved. Those who is unspotted from this world, who hate this present evil world, who beg the Lord to come back and destroy this place, who sighing and crying for all the abominations that's done in this world, all the wickedness, all the contrariness, all the disobedience of what the Bible say do and don't do. Okay? And even of our own people, it's going to be the few. All right. So even our 100% of the nation of Israel, only the elect of the nation of Israel is going to get this mystery and understand it. This is Romans chapter 11, verse 7. It says, "What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded." All right. The rest, the 2/3, the majority of the nation of Israel were blinded. And that's why they are in all manner of religions and philosophies and misinterpretations and all manner of wickedness that lead to destruction. All right. But the election have obtained the truth. The election have obtained the mystery. All right. The mystery. All right. That it talks about in this First Corinthians, which I'm going to end it off with this First Corinthians. Okay. All right. So First Corinthians 2. And I'm going to start at 6. And then I'm going to get out of here. All right. 1 Corinthians 2 and 6. "Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect." All right. Mature. All right. To receive this word and go through all the things that you got to go through and accept it. Okay. It says, "Yet not the wisdom of this world, nor of the princes of this world," meaning the rulers of this world, to who are putting out what's right and what's wrong, and who are building these institutions and saying, "Come to our schools and learn." That's the rulers of this world. It says that come to naught, that come to nothing but destruction. Okay. Verse 7. "But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which God ordained before the world unto our glory, which none of the princes of this world knew. For had they known it, they would have not crucified the Lord of glory." They would have not did that, what they did to our Lord and Savior, if they knew this mystery. But they didn't, and they don't. Okay? Only the elect of the elect of the nation of Israel is going to get this mystery. All right? Mystery, mysterion, hidden thing, secret, mystery, generally mysteries, religious secrets, confided only to the initiated. So the first initiated is the Israelites. All right. But ultimately, the initiated is the elect of the Israelites, because not even all of the nation of Israel is initiated at this point in time. They'll be back initiated in the kingdom of heaven after they go through judgment, after they go through that fire. All right. Because 2/3 of our people are going to go through that fire, that weeping and gnashing of teeth. And it's going to be horrible. I don't want no part of it. All right. See, but after that, then they'll be in the kingdom of heaven in their right mind, back in rulership, but under the elect. Okay. Because there's going to be a rank and file even in the kingdom of heaven. Okay. It says, confided only to the initiated and not to ordinary mortals. A hidden or secret thing, not obvious to the understanding. This thing ain't obvious like people think. A hidden purpose or counsel